Hey Clay, how are
What
you?
up, Nick? How are you? I'm great, man. Your tea thought made me think, It's like it's like I'm on the verge of just cold enough to want something warm to drink, you know?
Where are you, by the way?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
in Michigan.
So
Um,
yeah, you're cold.
yeah. Fuck this.
I like that perspective. Dude,
So,
thank you. Thank you for freaking jumping on. I'm curious. I'm curious to hear your story. Um,
sure.
One thing I've found is like I get these messages all the time now. It's like, hey Clay, remember that conversation we had about 2 years ago? So I'm gonna do everything I can to like build a one conversation sales offer. I guess I haven't really gone.
Mhm.
I've seen a couple of them out there, but not many. But yeah,
Okay.
cool.
So how best can I help you?
So let's start there. Let me just dive in, dude. Tell me about. I'm recording,
Okay.
so I guess take a minute, introduce yourself, talk about what you do,
Okay.
what's your background, what's your life, all that stuff. Just go with it. I might ask some
Okay.
questions. I don't know. We'll see. I've got some questions.
Well, I am 24 years old.
Start with like your full name, like I'm Nick and da 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 da, that kind of like
My name's Nick.
we haven't
Um,
officially met.
yeah.
Start over. Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Okay. My name's Nick. I'm a 24-year-old entrepreneur. I have a background in chemistry from college, and I've got a background in music from high school. I was in an excellent music program, so I've kind of got a mix of art and science to the approach I take to business. I make most of my money buying and selling college textbooks on Amazon. And the way that I think Clay has helped me the most is he kind of explained the switch between um, the lower and upper brain, where the lower brain is fight or flight, and the upper brain is what you're thinking and making decisions rationally
Yeah.
with. And when he explained this switch, all kinds of foo-foo garbage that didn't make any sense to me, like breathing exercises and meditation and mindfulness, kind of clicked, and I realized, oh, that's the mechanism that goes between one and the other. And obviously, we want to stay in the high-functioning portion of our brain more often.
Interesting. Cool.
One
Cool.
second,
Cool.
my tea's just ready. Be right.
Awesome. Awesome. Say again. Web not. No. It's the pro. Oh, it's Zoom. I use Zoom. Yeah. Have you heard of it? Yeah.
One of my colleagues just turned me on to
Zoom.
my meetings from a team. So I saw you over at the other location. You back there jamming.
At the other location, which one? I like to sit in that back other room over there. Yeah. I mostly run masterminds. So I host like 5, 10, 20 people at a time, and I take them through some specific stuff. Yeah. I'm actually talking to somebody right now that's giving me a testimonial on what he did. What's your name?
Charles.
Charles? I was going to go lefty. I'm Clay. It's nice to meet you.
Good Clay. You inspired me, man. But I know you do that to everybody. So.
You know what's up. Oh, we'll talk. I got a feeling. I see you. We'll see you. I'll be here for a week or two. Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's up?
Just met a nice man named Charles who plays chess with Julio at the Starbucks that I'm camping in.
Mhm.
Seen me in here a couple times. He's seen me run a mastermind or two.
That's fun.
Charles has, and he's like, I saw you doing your thing the other day. And I'm like, yeah. It was good. Man. Dude, all right. So here comes a good question. You ready?
Mhm.
Just talk to me like just normal talk or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're just having a conversation. So tell me what, like you met me through, how did you meet me? How did you bump into me? Yeah, let's go there.
I bumped into you because you were on a Friday Night Live and getting clients without being salesy.
Why were you getting clients without being salesy?
I was there because I basically spent the last 6 months being a student of marketing. I probably made a grand total of $500 with the things I've learned. But the reason for that is because I'm not really trying to pay rent with this. I'm trying to be a better businessman. So I'm trying to be more well-rounded, and I'm trying to learn things from all kinds of perspectives. I was in getting clients without being salesy because Landon had just taken over the millennial entrepreneur community, and I was really resonating with the message they were putting out. So I really liked the idea of making sales without being a douche nozzle.
I'm not going to repeat that right here, right now, as loudly as I could. That was because of where I'm at. That was interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I concur.
You just happened to be there the week I watched.
Wow. Really cool. So what was it like? What was your struggle before, I guess? What was what were you having trouble with? What were you working on? Yeah.
Mindset. I kind of felt really stuck, and I'm sure you've heard this before. Really, I felt like I was all wound up and I was ready to go, but I didn't know where to point that. Right, I didn't quite know what activity to do. I was anxious a lot of the time because I wasn't doing work, and that would obviously be a downward spiral. And so I was seeking a solution to a mindset problem, because a mentor of mine had told me that is where I need to focus. And so obviously meditation and breathing exercises and recognizing the time to do them and recognizing the anxious feelings was one of the things I was trying to solve.
Cool. So your mentor. Okay. So what was the message you heard from me? What was the big thing that you took away from that Friday Night Live? Because we haven't talked. This is the first time we've met. This is the first time we've interacted other than me broadcasting, basically.
So it's a kind of a link of 4 ideas that kind of meld together into, I get it now.
4 ideas. This is going to be good.
You talked about peak performance and how in the military you trained people to maintain peak focus when it would be a life or death kind of thing, to lose that focus. And so you got really good at teaching others to get there. The thing that people failed to recognize was when you're feeling a certain way and you're feeling down or anxious or unhappy and you've got all these negative emotions spiraling in your head, that's literally just your fight or flight response, trying to keep you safe in some way. And you talked about, through your motorcycle story, the peak performance and all of the things that your body managed to do without your interfering with it, the things that the mind can do, and the things the mind can do when you're flowing and when you're in peak mode. And you, through telling me about what that peak mode was and talking about the switch between it and the lower fight or flight brain, the monkey brain, the reptile brain, you helped me recognize which mode of thinking I was in based on how I felt. And I knew that I needed to go meditate when I was feeling like garbage, and I would get back to where I needed to be.
Nice. Cool. And what's different? What's different now that you've, and actually, you know what? Because you haven't been through my Get It Done 101 program. You haven't been in the Get It Done Mastermind. Mm-hmm. So you haven't actually applied what I would say, or you may have. You haven't gone through me guiding you to apply it. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious as to what you've done with, what'd you do with that knowledge?
So I'm still working on it because I'm still not perfect at it, but I'm practicing. Right now I'm doing 2 things. I'm building a morning routine that sets me up for success. And really just your knowledge kind of fit in my brain scientifically. Because I majored in science. I majored in chemistry in college. I've been published a few times, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just a vanity thing.
Still.
It shouldn't have been published, but like that's the level of work that I've done in the past.
Okay.
And so I always approach things very analytically. If you can't explain it with science, it's not real. And that's the problem. There's a lot of legitimate emotions that people feel, and they're not quite sure how to label them, but they're real feelings, and they're real things that are holding them back. And so what you did is you didn't necessarily explain it scientifically, but you did it from a perspective that a scientist could understand.
Yeah.
Like flow isn't this magical place that you go to when you're trying to act like Buddha. It's this thing that your brain's really good at. And passionate people tend to get in the flow way more often because they're doing what they like doing, right? It all makes sense. It's very logical, very scientific. It's not emotion based.
Dude, I really appreciate this. This is great feedback. Have you, real quick, value give you a book that we talked about or that I mentioned was The Rise of Superman. Have you read that?
No. I will put it on a list, but I've got about 2,000 books that I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Well, as we get to know each other better, I might say put this at the top of the list. So the book, after my motorcycle accident, incident, the book, The Rise of Superman, came to me, and that's what really explained really well what was going on in my brain. The number one complaint of that book is that it didn't teach you how to develop that morning launch routine or how to actually enter the state of flow. At the time, in my experience where I was at, I was able to pull that out of that book. So it is in there. Since then, the author, Stephen Kotler, Kotler, has gained incredible access to incredible organizations like SEAL Team 6. Not the SEALs, SEAL Team 6.
So that's one level higher?
Like the boys, the top 100 or 200 operators on the planet. This is people that have been in the SEALs for 15 plus years. These are the operators that got the call to go do Bin Laden. They're the boys, right?
And the guy that wrote this book is now working with the killers.
And the Google founders.
By killer, I mean someone who's doing very well, not connotation.
Well, they literally are killers, right? That's where they're at. That's what they're doing. And on the other end of it, Google founders. And I'm not talking about the CEO. I'm not talking about just the executives or something. He hangs out with the boys, like Paige and what's his name.
So he's a good person to go learn from.
So, yeah. And he has founded this thing called the Flow Genome Project. His next book is called Stealing Fire. I'm betting you've probably heard that, and it's already on your list somewhere.
I have not, actually.
Really?
Okay. But it's just one of those things. I'm actually ordering The Rise of Superman right now.
Whoa, hold on. Hold on. So Stealing Fire is the next book that he wrote after The Rise of Superman. Okay. And The Rise of Superman is a really good read and really good stories. Stealing Fire may be more for you.
Okay.
Because over here, The Rise of Superman is about extreme athletes and what they're accidentally doing. Over here, Stealing Fire, it lays down the 4 or 5 ways to actually, and we called it the state of flow in the past. In Stealing Fire, he calls it ecstasis. ECSTASIS. And he describes how the SEALs are doing it, how the founders of Google chose their CEO, how the boys are doing it. And there's 4 or 5 ways you can put yourself into a state of flow. One of those ways, he said, and I love this part of the book because this is what I've been doing the last 5 years. The safest way is to develop a meditation habit and control your mind and direct your thoughts. It takes about, he says, 12 weeks to do it, which is exactly how long my masterminds last, where I teach people how to use meditation to enter the state of flow. So I was just like, yes, when that book came out.
I like it.
Yeah, so Stealing Fire may be more your flavor than The Rise of Superman.
It's on the way to my house right now.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate the recommendation.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so you're applying it by doing the right things on your own, it sounds like. I don't know, maybe you've got a coach, maybe you've got a mentor that's working you.
It's going well only because I'm so good at learning from making mistakes. I'm actually, I don't know, you can use this if you want. It's really up to you. About a month ago, I did it the wrong way and I did it the dangerous way. And I actually entered a manic episode that lasted about a week and a half.
I'm all ears. What happened?
So step one, I connected with somebody like me. I don't really know how to explain that. He's just somebody that I resonated with on a very, very, very high level, who complemented my strengths. I approached from science. He approached from spirituality.
Okay.
I've been getting to know him for a few months, and about a month ago, I was in a local botanical garden. He and I had been meeting for lunch every week and just basically masterminding. I'm just talking about different things that we're doing with our life, and we were doing it in this beautiful place. And we had this idea, and we ran with it. And I'm not going to share it with you because it's not ready yet, but we brainstormed on it for like a day, and then I just entered this space where I literally felt like my mind was being blown every day. The best explanation of it is it felt like an acid trip, except I was acid tripping on life.
Exactly. Yes.
I generated between him and I over the course of a week, like probably 112 pages worth of notes on a Google Doc. Just like idea, all over the place. And I scared some of my friends and family.
I don't mean to laugh at you, Nick, but I feel you right now. Okay, go ahead.
I scared the shit out of some of my family members, and they because I was acting so weird.
Yep.
And the truth is, I was going from a place of very, very down and subdued to a place of I'm ready to go work and I'm ready to go do things now, and I believe in the world again. The danger part was that I'd never done it before, and so I could have hurt myself. I forgot to eat. I forgot to exercise, and I forgot my routines, and I forgot to turn off. Like, in it, I paid for it. It hurt towards the end of the week.
How was your sleep?
I couldn't sleep for 48 hours at one point.
Wow.
I literally went to my friend's house and told him, I can't sleep. Please just keep my brain occupied because it hurts.
Wow. Dude, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not your fault.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I feel you, and I'm I know it's not my fault, but it's like, damn.
I'm happy it happened.
Wow, that's intense, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, there's good news here.
Uh-huh.
I know motorcycle riders, and I know people that have killed themselves to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you didn't actually kill yourself.
No.
But another safety thing that I tell people about is ergonomics.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're sitting there hammering away, and you just go and go and go, and all of a sudden 6, 8, 10 hours passes, and you're all like, I suffer from that one. Luckily, I'm old enough to know, man, my body will tell me quick enough after I've been going too long if I haven't set an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So have you learned? Okay, so I love what you just said, because literally this is exactly what I'm offering people. Like the mastermind, one-on-one coaching, getting away from the one-on-one stuff, the masterminds and the courses. This is what it's about, literally. So this is beautiful. Thank you. Except for the pain. So how long was the high? How long were you in flow?
That's about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And then what happened? How bad did it get?
It didn't actually get very bad, because about a week in, I recognized what was going on, and I basically told everyone I came into contact with, as honestly as I could, what was going on and what to expect when the crash occurred. And so I think I cushioned the blow by doing that.
Nice.
For instance, I went to a friend's house whose partner has bipolar. And so he knew exactly how to deal with me. I went to his house and he gave me a weighted blanket because it makes sense. Babies like to be swaddled. It makes them feel safe. People are the same way. It's like we like blankets. He gave me a weighted blanket and he said, lay on this couch. And he gave me literally a bucket of tea about this large and said, drink it. And hang out. And he didn't judge a single crazy word that came out of my mouth. He was just there.
Nice.
And I did my thing. When I recognized that it was about time to be done, I binged some Netflix, and I took lots of walks, and I went and danced like a crazy person in the forest alone, because that's meditation as far as I'm concerned. And so I did all kinds of self-care activities. So it went from like 2 weeks of straight work to like a week of straight self-care activities. And now I'm back to where I'd like to be. Nice.
So have you figured out how to set alarm, or how to come down?
We'll see. I haven't launched myself into anything major since then. I'm developing a morning routine so that I can get like many states of flow rather than a 2 week long version. I think I figured it out. I haven't damaged my life, and I'm doing everything I need to do for the future. And I came down once. I can do it again, I guess.
Nice. So you basically just, yeah, I'm going to help you as much as I can and everything. You just described it. Like, you got to set a morning routine that gets you so far into the state of flow instead of all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Set timers, 50
Pomodoro
minutes.
technique is awesome.
Sorry, Pomodoro. Yep. The magic number, according to the latest research right now, it's actually gone up to 52-minute work sessions. Like the cutting edge research and all that stuff.
Okay. So instead of a 25-minute Pomodoro, do a 52-minute with an 8-minute break.
Yeah. And then, or longer break. And here's where it gets weird, because everybody wants me to hand them this recipe. And
it's just a starting place.
There isn't one
Something
recipe.
to try.
Everybody's different. Yeah. So 52 minutes, and then we get into my high performance stuff and Brendan Bouchard's high performance stuff. Mm-hmm. When you start talking about what you do in that 10 minutes or that 20 minutes or that 8 minutes, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. A couple of my clients, did you go check out any of Brendan Bouchard's stuff?
I literally watched one FNL and it popped back into my head and I made a post about it. I don't know much about you beyond that FNL.
Cool. That's pretty freaking amazing, dude. That's amazing. So Brendan Bouchard is he calls himself a high performance expert, the best high performance trainer in the world or whatever. He's also one of the best marketers on the planet. So if you're studying marketing, it would make sense to go get into his funnel.
Go tell me the name again.
Burchard. And his first name is Brendan, and it's Brendon.
Okay.
You are ripe right now. So basically, I think Brendan exists like you just described. I think he does like 2, 3, or even 4 to 6 week sprints, and then he crashes. He disappears, because you've got to have those recoveries. I think I don't know Brendan good enough to know. But I know this. I've seen him do events. He's going for 4 and 5 days straight for 10, 12 hours a day. It's pretty intense. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend him. Anything you decide to purchase from him, reach out. I'll let you know what you're getting. I'll let you know if it's a good deal or a bad deal for that. And I'll let you know if there's a way to get around it and get it a different way. One of the things...
I'm not in the market for anything new for at least 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
My budget is shot, but when it comes time, I'll definitely be spending more on self-investment.
He's definitely somebody that you should follow as far as watching for marketing. Mm-hmm. His emails are amazing. You can read it, and it's like one paragraph. The next paragraph says the same thing, but it says it in a completely different way to the other personalities, to the other learning styles. It's just, he's good.
Okay.
So get in his funnel. And once you're in his funnel, you'll never leave, but it's okay. What else? So Brendan, I was going to say in March, one event that I would highly recommend based on what I've gotten from you so far in this call is High Performance Academy Live. And I may or may not be able to hook you up with tickets or give you discount tickets at the time. But that's going to happen somewhere around January, February, when we've got to book those tickets. Yeah.
Is that an online thing or an in-person thing?
That's an event. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona this time. Okay. I think I can, yeah. No, that's not right. Trying to find a link to send you for that.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes, definitely. I've got a couple more too, but I want to send you this link real quick. Go ahead. What's your questions? Yeah.
So I'm certain that you charge for this sort of thing normally, but I'm curious. I wanted to briefly discuss what I could do to get into a state of flow a little bit better. I feel like I'm not very focused right now. I have like probably 4 major projects on my mind, and maybe 2 of them actually drive me, but the other 2 are important because they're paying the rent. So I've got 2 things going on with my textbook business. I'm doing in-person activities. I've got 4 undergrads that are working with me, and I'm building a website. So that enough is a lot of work to do. But I'm also doing research for a client because I've got those skills and it can pay a little bit of money.
You're also doing what? Say that one again.
Research, competitor research.
Okay.
You tell me what you're trying to accomplish, and I'll go find the people that are doing that really well in your industry and say, here's how they did it. And here, maybe you should copy some of this because it works, right?
That's interesting. Okay.
And the last thing I've got going on, and is actually totally in the back burner. I've got a nonprofit I've linked up with that helps urban youth in Detroit, and I'm trying to connect them with relevant parties, and so that they can do their thing and they can help people that need the help the most. That's what I'm trying to get towards. I want to spend my life doing that kind of thing. And that's why I have
I'm one of those people that you could hook them up with.
As a coach,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, well, as I don't know. I'm trying to I'm easing away from the coach. I'm a speaker and a trainer. My coaching,
okay.
I'm definitely trying to minimize that, and I'm going to just be doing high-end one-on-one stuff because the numbers are there now to support the groups and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just sent you, if you look in the chat down here, there's 2 links. One of those is for HPA Live, High Performance Academy Live. When you click that one, it'll start playing a video. So go ahead and pause that.
Okay.
Brendan does autoplays. The second one is a YouTube link.
Okay.
That is the answer to your question.
Okay.
That is Brendan and sort of. That's part of it. So what I basically have realized is what I am is I'm the connection between Kotler and all his all his state of flow stuff, and Brendan and Brendan's high performance habits.
Okay.
I can help build. I take these habits and I turn them into flow inducing states and flow maintaining states and all that stuff. So to answer your question as very specifically and directly as I can, watch that 30-minute YouTube video from Brendan.
Okay.
That's an excellent way to opt in to his stuff because he tells you to sign up to get to download a productivity planner. He's and it's a PDF. I'm not supposed to, but I can share it with you. It's very straightforward, but there's an additional step to answer your question.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
Every day I do the productivity planner.
Okay.
And what it at the end of it, your end result is here are these 3 or 4 things that you have to do today before you go to sleep. Right? And that's that video, How Millionaires Plan Their Day. That the download there is the productivity planner.
Okay.
So you get these 4 things. So it's time to start work. I bust out my journal and I ask myself, why? Why am I doing this one task? If that one task is write some copy, if that one task is record a testimonial video, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this today? And I keep going until it connects to that big picture purpose. And I'm excited because I see and feel, keyword, feel that connection between what I'm going to do, how this task, taxes, not my favorite thing, accounting, not my favorite thing, right? So, but I still, when I'm doing it, I am in it. Now, I'm probably not in as deep a state of flow as you were in for that week or 2 weeks. And I'm definitely not as in a deep state of flow as when I'm on my motorcycle or whatever, but I'm in a state of flow.
Okay.
So yeah. And you're going to learn how to gauge how deep you are.
Okay.
So obviously there's other stuff in my daily launch. There's meditation, there's some yoga, there's water, there's cooking, there's all this other stuff, but that's the last thing I do that launches me into the state.
The last thing you do is journal. Okay.
Well, the productivity plan, like right before I start work. So I might break, because my lifestyle, I'll have a morning routine, and then Tara and I my girlfriend, go through some stuff. We might relocate to a Starbucks. We might go deal with the RV. There's stuff that we'll do, but then I'll have a work session. When I go into that work session, that's the last thing I do.
Okay.
That's
okay.
what yeah.
Have you been recommended to read Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss?
It's one of the few books I still have because we moved into the RV. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you don't need me to tell you that there's a page in his book that is detailing his version of his launch.
Yeah.
I've been trying to implement that into my life for the last few days. Every morning I get up and remind myself what the hell it is, and then I go do it. It seems to be working so far. So.
It's as long as you have so that's literally the process that I go through with my mastermind groups. And everybody's different. You establish a morning routine, and then you start adjusting it. Test this, test this, test this. Test it for a week, maybe 2, and then make an adjustment. And it's just this nonstop.
What's your bedtime routine?
The number one challenge everybody faces I don't have time for a launch. My launch sucked. Landing. I call it landing. And the last mastermind that I hosted, one of the ladies, Teresa, her perspective is her landing is actually the start of her launch for tomorrow. So it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, that's part of it, right? My personal one now, or my best one? Let's go best.
I mean, what is the goal of the landing? I don't necessarily think I need the dot by dot, but just like, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing every night before I go to bed?
So do you know my 3 habits? Do you remember the 3 habits? Meditation, journaling, gratitude.
Do that every night. Okay.
Well, no, I didn't say that. Those
Try
are my
that.
3.
See what
those
happens.
are my 3 habits. Those are the things that you have to do every day. Okay. Now, when you're going to sleep, let me ask you this question. What did your mom, time check, okay. What did your mom and dad do when you were like less than 5 years old for money?
For money? My mom was a waitress. My father installed car radio. My stepfather installed car radios, and my dad was some sort of computer software guy. I'm not sure.
Father figure, the one that was your dad, the authority figure when you were, and we're talking like when you were young, right? So car and stereo installer as a job or as a business? He
wasn't the authority figure. He was just the one in the house. My biological father was the authority figure. I'm not sure what he was doing when I was 5, but I know during that time period he was either working as a software engineer for somebody else or in the process of starting his own company during the dot-com boom.
Nice. Okay, so you got something there. So the difference is mom and dad were business owners or trying to be or something like that, or employed, right? And the challenge is how we're wired. Now, regardless of what your answer is, you're going to want to rewire yourself a little bit because you're going to work to their level and a little bit beyond in your life. So to scale it, to blow up, you've got to throw some switches. You've got to do some rewiring. And that's meditation, journaling, and gratitude. The most important part. So most people, 99% of the people that I work with, when they try to plan tomorrow at night, right? Because that's not what you want to be thinking about. And the other piece is at night, your willpower is at its weakest. So if you start thinking about planning tomorrow, like here's the example. Another one is the word is gratitude. So if you start thinking about things you're grateful for me, for example, I think of my girlfriend, and I immediately start thinking, okay, I need to do this, and this to make her feel better, look better, feel better, be safer. I start thinking about all my to-dos. So the trick is maintaining your focus on the gratitude. Maintain your focus on the gratitude. The words that I tell my clients are, if you can write down, like right now, just look to your right. Glance to your right. What did you see?
A pile of books that I'm going to send to Amazon that's worth about $500 profit.
Nice. Nice. So write unexercise the pile of books.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I grateful for it? And you set a timer for 20 minutes and you don't stop writing until you're literally staining the pages with your tears. You're so thankful for those books.
Okay.
Could be the person that wrote the books, could be the publicist, could be the thought of where did the trees come from. This could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where it goes is not relative. The emotion connected, because that's the part when you're emotionally connected like that. What they found, it's like going to the gym, and that's the reps that really build the muscle. And the muscle we're talking about is the part of your brain that you, because you're on this call with me, because of what you're doing, it's obvious to me, that's the part of your brain you want to grow. Mm-hmm. That part of your brain grows the most from gratitude exercises.
I would agree. I think you nailed it. I think that I do not have enough gratitude in my life, and it holds me back at times.
Oof. So the exercise is simple. Every time you put your left foot down, or every time you exhale, find something to be grateful for. like literally, anytime. I've got these beads are for meditations, and every time that I catch myself that I'm like kind of just daydreaming, like driving or whatever, I'll grab those beads and I'll do a lap of a certain thought. It might be I'm thankful for a certain client, my girlfriend. It's something that I want to amplify in my life.
You know what's fascinating?
Lots of stuff.
Okay. You're right.
Whole lot of stuff. The fact that I've worked with so many chemical engineers in my career, there's that. But go ahead. What else?
The beads you have, your meditation beads. My great grandma would go to bed every night with rosary beads, and I never learned what her rosary was because I was very anti-religion as I grew up. But now, as I look back, I'm remembering there were literally just 13 things my grandma was thankful for. That's all a rosary is.
The rosary comes from the mala.
Mm-hmm.
This is a set of mala beads. There's 108 of them on here. There's something magic about the number of 108. I'm not Tara. You want to go woo woo? My girl Tara.
Okay.
She'll take you down a hole. She'll take you down the white rabbit hole with an Alice in Wonderland. You're gone. See ya. Uh-huh. So I'm not the expert on exactly why there's 108 of these beads. What I've found is if I inhale and exhale deeply for one bead, it takes me between 20 and 25, sometimes 30 minutes to go all the way around. If I'm thinking one thing that many times all the way around, so I'm not busy counting 108 or whatever, I'm just moving this thing one thing at a time, thinking that thought over and over.
It sticks.
There's mojo. I'm rewiring, right?
It sounds like the placebo effect, really.
Have you not studied the placebo effect?
Oh, I have. It's just, It sounds very similar. Like you're literally telling your brain a version of reality and you do it long enough until it believes it.
And then all of a sudden, it's there.
Yeah. It's awesome. The brain's awesome.
I've done this long enough now, Nick. I can tell you this. I sit down on a call with somebody and I'll get to know them. And I will, maybe an hour to 3, I'll see the opportunity that is sitting in front of them. They can't see it. They cannot see it. I've worked with a couple people now for over a year, and I'm loving them. I'm loving them. They're sitting there and they're doing the habits. They're not doing the habits. Like you get it. When I told you crying and feeling it, you understand the connection. You understand what that's doing in your brain. And you're young. You haven't been jaded like somebody that's my age that's been beaten for 40 years.
I actually spent all of college jaded. It's only recently that I've returned from that realm.
Put another 20 or 30 years on it, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
You had the weight belts on way longer.
yeah, the ruts are real. Like they've done the research, the synaptic connections and how your brain gets wired. They're bigger, stronger, harder connections. So to get somebody to line up. So the point is, eventually, all of a sudden, this person's like, oh, I have this great idea. I'm going to talk to this person and do this. I had literally go back and look at the notes that I'd taken a year earlier,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, there it sits.
Mm-hmm.
There's their $1 million idea.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that the reality isn't there and that you made the reality. It's that you allowed yourself to be open to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
mm-hmm.
have you heard the story about the Indians when Columbus found America?
No.
There's supposedly multiple stories of this when different explorers found different parts of the world,
mm-hmm.
where the native people were sitting there and they're looking at the freaking water, and they come down because the wise man, the shaman of the village or whatever, the medicine man, he's sitting there just staring out at the water, and he sees something, but he doesn't know what it is, and
mm-hmm.
nobody else sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody sees it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mayflower, it's the Pinta, or whatever, it's the boats, it's the ships they're looking at. They can't see them because they have no idea of what it is.
So it just fuzzes at the end of the horizon.
It's not there. Like I can see these ships being 100 meters off the coast,
mm-hmm.
and them not seeing it.
Huh.
And
does not compute. Error message.
Completely. And they've proven this, dude. You start going subatomic, you start looking at how scientific discoveries are made. It's not until somebody imagines how something's working and then they try to prove it using our weak ass senses and amplify those senses with the electrical devices that you're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they can put this piece and this piece together and then say, okay, in order for that to happen, that's got to be true. And then they investigate it and they prove it once they see the idea is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there the whole time. So it's not, yeah, okay, all right. So that's my start meditating motivation for you, it sounds like. All right. Whew. So damn it. Anyway, I want to get back to let me quick. I want to ask you a couple more questions. I want to get because you are excellent, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time and doing this.
I really appreciate talking with you. This is awesome. This is a lot of fun.
Welcome to my world. Come on in. Only $3,000 a month, or we can talk. We can talk when you're ready. Holler. You would be somebody fun to have in a mastermind. I understand you're tapped. I understand you're at the limit, but I also understand it could take you maybe 3 hours, and you could probably produce somewhere between $2,000 and $20,000 doing your competitor research for between 2 and 4 clients.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's a switch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all right there for you. You see it?
I'm going to be reevaluating my life in January. That's when I get my paycheck, and that's when I figure out the next step.
Okay.
It's the textbook cycle. Students buy during the beginning of the semester. The beginning of the semester is January. So that's when the paycheck comes.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah. Yeah. I need to find the right client doing competitor research. And I just gave you an objection.
Uh-huh.
I totally ignored it. I couldn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
You see that?
I made it go away.
Yeah. That was that. Now, see, here's the next step for you. Figuring out when you're really reacting.
I'm also blind to that. I piss a lot of people off by not hearing them.
Well, easy now. That's like surface level. I'm with you up there. I understand that, and that's a good way to relate to it. But did you hear me? Did you go through the toothbrush example?
You told me to imagine myself brushing my teeth somewhere, right? Like imagine like every detail of how I would brush my teeth in my bathroom right now. Close my eyes and picture it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't remember? So then and then I asked a bunch of questions, and then I asked a question that was just a little off, and it produces this tiny feeling, and that was this. That was your was your switch going, yeah, but like, yeah, okay, it's all good. That little difference, that awareness level is where you're working for. It's what you're working for.
I can tell you what my yeah, but was. Do you want to hear it? Yeah, but I've never done it before, and I'm doing my first test client right now. He's paying me money, and I need to deliver for him before I can move on to the bigger client. That's what popped into my head precisely.
Interesting. So here's your challenge. Yeah, here it is, Nick. Dropping it on your plate. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
You spend the next couple months focusing on getting in your body.
Okay.
Deep. Because you're up here. I'm good at my body. I have my mentors and my coaches are just proving to me over and over and over how much I'm in my head. So don't feel bad. You know what? Write this down. If it feels good, I'm doing it wrong. I'm sorry. If it doesn't feel good, I'm doing it wrong.
Okay.
If it does not feel good, I'm doing it wrong. And apply that to everything.
Okay.
But now the trick is getting into your body. Have you played with chakra alignments at all? Check out some guided meditations for chakra alignment. Now, you'll be able to relate. The heart's pumping, fluid's flowing. There's some kind of electrostatic field going on there, right? So you can buy that.
I mean, I know that my weakness is absolutely emotions. That's why I dyed my hair pink. It's a little reminder that I need to keep an eye on that. I did this about 2 weeks ago because I recognized that the emotions are the things that I was failing at previously in my life. I've always been up here. I've always been the A student. I've always asked good questions. I've always been logical. But when I'm trying to deep down into the emotion of it, I've got a big wall.
All right, so check this out. You just did this and this. Lop this whole thing off. Get in here.
Okay. So listen for the gut. Okay.
Well, it's typically somewhere between your asshole and your jaw. Okay. So when I say in here, in your body. So guided meditations that focus on getting in touch with your body or chakra alignments. The reason I'm jumping on chakra alignments is because they have you breathe and they have you visualize energy in certain places. So I noticed a few months ago, maybe a year ago now, that I couldn't feel my heart anymore. Like, can you feel your heart beating right now? I can't. Unless I take a couple nice deep breaths, I can't. It's become mute to me over the years, right? That's an example of that extra years with the weight belt on, maybe, right? So I have to concentrate to feel my heart now. So if you start now and you put that A student drive mentality towards feeling yourself, and yeah, that sounds funny. And yes, believe it or not, I talk about masturbation and how to transmute sexual energies and all this stuff. We can talk about it, but get into your body. Okay. Make that your highest priority. The chakra alignments, you might enjoy the woo-woo part of it. That's not the point. The point, and if you do, that's awesome. The point is to get in your body. Feel your body. Because when you use the word, here's nothing, you use the word emotion. Emotions are up here.
I'm thinking about emotions. Yeah. I'm not feeling emotions.
Get in the ball. Okay, good. Let me ask you something. You ready? Close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths and kind of try and sink into your body. Mom. Did you feel it? There is no way that your switch didn't go to yes. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing threatening your life. It's just you. Every human being on the planet has such an emotional connection to their mother and has been through so much stuff with their mother that there is either a hell yeah or a hell no reaction for
Yes,
an
sir.
instant.
And you're right. You're right.
And it hits here before it hits here.
I blunted it because that has been a source of damage for the last 8 years or so. I don't have a very good relationship with my mom, and it's because she doesn't have a very good relationship with life, and it's just hard to be around her because she's not very happy.
I relate.
She was the perfect mom until I turned 15 and realized she drank too much, and then we fought basically for 4 years and didn't talk for 2, and now I'm sort of dipping my toes back into having a relationship with my mom, and it's for the reasons that you're telling me. You're right. Fucking Freud is right. He's a little weird, but he was right.
Oh, it's so much deeper than you know, dude. I got so many stories. I'm 50 years old. I've broken a lot of bones snowboarding, and I've injured myself a lot. My last injury was pretty bad in March. I mean, it's like first metal in my leg, kind of bad. And when I was in the trauma, a shrink had to come talk to me, like because of the hospital that it is. Anyway, to make sure Tara didn't hit me with a baseball bat. I don't know why. I'm still confused as to why she came, but the thing, she asked a bunch of questions, and then she ended up with, where are your injuries at? And I told her about how most of them are on my left side. Here's another thing to Google: healing mother wounds.
Okay.
YouTube it. It's not like, when I hear, mom or dad issues, parent issues, you immediately think strippers or hookers or something, right?
That's just probably the
extreme.
The outlier. That's the outlier.
Yeah. Because you can't exist without having issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the most wonderful parents on the planet are still going to jack us up.
Hey, Clay, I really appreciate all the advice and info you're giving me. I would love to have another conversation with you in the future. I've got like 5 minutes and I need to cook dinner because I have to go somewhere else. Is there anything else I can help you with right now before we end this call?
I've got another call as well. I'm watching the time. Stop stopping yourself. When you described your research, I wanted it.
Uh-huh.
Nick, how much does it cost? How much does it cost for you to do research for me?
$1,000.
How big of an impact is that research going to have on my business?
It's going to point you in the right direction, so you're
How
not.
big of an impact? If I have $100,000 a year business right now, mm-hmm. how big of a change is it going to make?
50% of the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be is the research. So if you pick someone who's a $1 million net worth person and you want to be like them, I'll get you halfway there.
Okay, now think about that. So right now you can write a post. If you're making over $100,000 in your entrepreneurial pursuits, mm-hmm. and if it's $500,000 you're talking about, it's worth a whole lot more than $1,000.
Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the thought process there. My objection right now is I need a little more confidence in myself.
Okay.
I want to do this for somebody.
I challenge you to go get that confidence by having a paying client.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. His name is Lance. I've been working on his shit all day.
Good. You get what I'm saying though. It's like, you're right. And you're going to get the confidence by doing it. Why not get paid while you do it? Well.
And I really appreciate the advice and everything. I've never done well with authority figures. I never.
Who's the authority figure? Me or your client?
Right now it's you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're trying to motivate me.
Kind of push you a little bit, yeah.
And I've never done well with that. That's because of my shit. It's my dad. No, don't apologize. It's my fault. I'm just letting you know why I'm giving you lip. You're trying to help me, and I'm telling you, shut up, Clay, and I shouldn't be telling you to shut up.
Oh, dude, I love it. You'll think about it, though. You're going to think about it. You're gonna, every drop counts, man.
I'll be back.
I appreciate the time. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah.
Keep in touch.
Go get a mastermind. Go get a dude and call me about the mastermind quick, because it's starting right now.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you soon, brother. Have a good day. Thank you, Nick.